Today we're honored to welcome Alex Duenas to the show today. I'm very excited to have him on. He talks about so many important topics today, and the foundation of the show is becoming the greatest version of yourself. And it takes an internal terrain in order to do that. Developing our character traits in order to live the life that we're meant to lead. And he talks about so many things that are very important, getting connected to a higher power, being disciplined, and really kind of mastering ourselves in a sense, right? That's what it's all about. And someone who has walked the path, which we have here today, to share all his insights with us is very awesome. So, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, man. I just want to thank you for having me on the show.
Absolutely. I'm very curious to hear your story and how you got into, kind of like cultivating greatness within yourself to be of service in a sense.
Absolutely, my man. For me, the journey started when I was a kid. I would say my dad and my mom have an interesting story because it wasn't the typical date and meet each other, date for a while, then see how it goes, then get married. My mom and dad met, and within the first like 2 months, my mom was pregnant. My dad and her got married, so it was really fast paced. And then they got blessed with like not one child but two child. I'm a twin, and so since then the story has always been kind of off. And growing up with my dad had to take care of my dad's from El Salvador, my mom's from Colombia, so my mom didn't speak the language, so my mom had to take care of us. My dad just became the man of the house, like pay all the bills, work all the time, and that showed a level of work ethic. Number one. Number two, my dad showed that like I'm responsible. I made this decision. I'm going to take responsibility for this. And it put a lot of stress on him. And so growing up with him, he put me in baseball. And so because he was so stressed, he was working so much, he had a very short temper. And because he didn't grow up without a father, he grew up without a father. It was very hard for him to know to navigate what it's like to be a father, other than just provide. And so with that, he trained me in baseball. He was very tough on me, verbally and physically. Love him to death. But up until 12 years old, it was really tough. I got bullied at school. My dad was super disciplined with me, maybe a great baseball player, but he still disciplined me because there was many times where I didn't want to go to practice. I don't want to go, I don't want to go, but he forced me to. And after every single practice, I always was like, I'm so glad I went to practice, you know? And so then up to that point, I was insecure. There was fear at home. There was still love at home, but I was fearful of my dad. And then I was fearful at school. I felt hopeless. I felt weak. I felt lack of confidence, especially with girls and also being at school. And so it wasn't until I was playing baseball one day and I was in a dugout. And I remember seeing a friend of mine. His name was Chris. And he just happened to like look like he worked out and he was talking to this really cute girl. And in that moment, I saw my vision in life. I'm like, I just want a cute girl. I want a cute girlfriend. That's all I wanted. And then I kind of correlated. I'm like, okay, he obviously knows what he's doing. And after practice, I went up to him. I'm like, hey, bro, can you teach me to do what you do? Like, just show me, like, what do you do? And he's like, yeah, man, I'll teach you how to work out. And then from there, I went to his house. He was like the kid that was in football, he was in baseball, he was in track, he was the kid's parent, these straight A students. And so when I asked him to teach me, like he was more than kind enough to teach me how to do push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups, and bicycles. From there, my parents sent me like 2 weeks later, me and my brother to Colombia. And before I left, there was a piece of equipment called the perfect push-up. I don't know if you've ever seen it before or heard of it. It's just two little handles. This teaches you how to do push-ups.
Oh, I
Yeah,
do.
yeah, the perfect push-up. But with it came probably one of the biggest turning points of my like keys to success to like working out for the last 19 years. I've never stopped working out for the last since I was 12. Since he taught me for 19 years, I've never taken more than 2 or 3 days off a week, and I've just never stopped. And what came with it was a 90-day calendar. So off the rip, I went to somebody who had what I wanted. I had a vision. I wanted a cute girlfriend. I wanted to have muscles like him. Number two, I asked the person who had what I wanted to teach me how to do it. And number three, I had structure. From there, I started to work out when I moved to Colombia. Once I started to work out every single night, I felt stronger. I felt better about myself. And when I was over there, I made a lot of friends. The people in Colombia treated me a lot more different than the kids in school. They actually accepted me. They communicated with me. The girls liked me. So for the next 3 months, I trained every night. I made friends. I had a girlfriend. And so for those 3 months, my whole life changed. I went from being bullied, not liking the way I looked, to not really liking like being around my father as much, to loving who I was, being accepted, being around a bunch of love in my grandma's house. I had 5 uncles and aunts. I had my grandpa. I had my cousins. That was a turning point for me in my life. Because when I came back to the States, all my friends were like, "What happened to you?" I was wearing tank tops. I was happier. And so that really made a turning point for me in my life. And it's why I've never drifted away from working out because it changed my life.
I love it, man. It's an incredible story. It's like, it sounds like your father had an impact on you in one way or another, and you kind of had this mentor come along, right? And you kind of learn the aspects of responsibility. And basically, what I find is like when people who are kind of like in a state of mastery, in a sense, they
Mm-hmm.
want to help other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're usually altruistic and they want to be of service, right? So it's kind of like all you have to do is ask sometimes.
Yes, absolutely. More people are more than willing to help you. I actually, when I was working on Colombia, one of the kids saw that I started to change about after a month and a half, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Come, let me show you." And so I invited him to my grandma's house. I showed him the perfect push-up. I'm like, "These are the push-ups I'm doing because it changed my life." So all you want to do is like show people. Let me show you. Like I found gold. Let me show you where the gold is.
Yeah, man. And you had like a vision for your life, right? Kind of
Hmm.
like a structure, and that helps you build this confidence, right? Because a lot of times we just go throughout our day, we don't really know what we're doing in a sense. But when you have a plan and something to work towards, it leads you towards your purpose in a sense.
Absolutely, because you have direction. Without, there's a saying that when man has no purpose, he chases pleasure. And so when we have no level of direction, it's very easy to get lost. And that's why I believe even people get out of school, out of high school or college, if you go to college, it's very hard for people to progress because all your life you had structure. Up to that point, up to the end of high school, if you finish high school or if you even go to college, you have structure. Every point of your life, you've always had a mentor. You were taught how to eat. You were taught how to tie your shoes, taught how to dress. From first grade, second grade, you're always taught. And so eventually, as soon as you're done with high school or even done with college, people never seek mentors again. So they never learn more new things.
Yeah, mentorship can be very powerful, right? Because like I think it's important to find people who have walked the path that you want to go on, and
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of doing the things that are going to get you where you want to be, right? And over time, it can be a model and a life for others as well. So I think that's just like something important to kind of carry out through your days, so you can kind of like filter your decisions through that too.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah. Something that you talk a lot about is discipline, and you kind of alluded to a little bit. It's like this immediate gratification, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
like it's so pervasive. Unfortunately, it's like we always go for these short term things,
Right.
and what we fail to realize is that when we actually do the hard thing, it actually leads to even more fulfillment, and we mistake pleasure for fulfillment in a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times.
Absolutely. I always say instant gratification leads to delayed pain. You're going to feel pain one way or another. Either you feel pain now and then pleasure later, or you feel pleasure now, pain later. And so, whenever we are chasing these instant gratification type of things, we're always left with like three main emotions: shame, guilt, doubt, regret. When we're left with those emotions, guess what happens? We start to feel really bad about ourselves. So when you start to feel bad, guess what happens? You start to think bad. When you start to think more negative, then you start to feel even more negative. It's a never ending cycle because that instant gratification, yes, it gives you pleasure, but then you're delayed with that pain. You're going to feel that pain. You have to feel the world pain. That's part of life because it's either you feel it in the beginning and then you get that nice, like that pride within yourself, or you hit that instant gratification, which I call a vice. A vice is something that gives you pleasure right away and then you feel pain later. And once you program yourself to do that, you constantly seek it, and that's why you consistently people keep self sabotaging.
Yeah, I like to say like never put immediate gratification over the long term mission, right? Like what are your decisions right now, and where's that going to lead you? Like what is your trajectory in life? Because who we
Mm-hmm.
are to be, we're now becoming.
Right, correct. And I think this people don't have. Most people don't know what they want. I tell people you can have anything you want if you know what you want. But most people, if you ask them, "What do you want?" Oh, like I just want to feel better, or I just want to look better, or I just want to live comfortably. I'm like, that's why you're gonna fuck up because you're chasing comfort. I just want to be comfortable. That's why you'll never be comfortable because that's all you're chasing, and because we're chasing that, you're avoiding discomfort. And because you avoid discomfort, you avoid growth. It's the only way we grow is that you pursue discomfort and give discomfort a new meaning. What we give meaning to, because nothing in life has meaning. Everything is meaningless until you give it meaning. Somebody breaks up with you. This is the worst thing I ever have. Oh, I'm like, you know what? This gives me an opportunity to reflect and move forward. It doesn't mean it's not painful, but what's going to suit you in that very moment? I get that asked a lot on my TikTok lives. How do you get over a breakup? That you accept that it's going to hurt. The pain's not gonna go away today, nor tomorrow, nor next week, nor next month. It's going to hurt. What really matters is, what are you going to do when you feel that? Are you going to go towards the alcohol, the drugs, the overeating, the lusting, the pornography, the negative thoughts, hanging out with the wrong people, or playing the victim? Which way? Or the other side, which is the path of recreation, which is getting closer to God, training and nutrition, and doing something to help other people out, making your money, doing something for others, servicing others. That's the path of recreation versus the path of destruction.
I love it, man. It's like, if you look at the word vice, it's really Latin for separation, right? We're engaging these things that are separating us from what's real.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so it's like these things that are like we engage in, but it's not leading us to this long-term fulfillment. I mean, it's seemingly filling up this void in ourselves temporarily,
Yeah.
but it's never sustainable. And like when you engage in these other things that you mentioned, like getting connected to a higher power, getting our health on point, all these things are gonna lead us to a more purpose fulfilled life.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a really understanding your vice. I never really, I've drank, I've done drugs, I've gone to festival, I slept with women, I've been a go-go dancer, I've done pornography, I've put myself in a position where I've done all these different type of things. But one thing I've learned is that we all have a certain vice that we run to. Every time something gets difficult, what is your main vice? Is it drinking? Is it smoking? Is it drugs? Is it overeating? Is it pornography? Is it sex? Is it negative thoughts? Or is it hanging around the wrong people? We can't resist the vice. It's just your thing. We can only replace it. Because the reason you go towards this vice, when I went towards pornography and sex, is because something inside me was seeking expression. Something inside me wants to release. So what I've done now, with where I'm at in my life, instead of I go towards, again, the three things you can do is either get closer to God with scripture, training, nutrition, or service of others. That's it. Everything else is going to lead you down to feeling instant gratification and delayed pain. So I've taken that energy of me wanting to go watch porn or sleep with someone, and I've driven it towards my business. I've driven it to okay, I want to do this, but how can I go help somebody? How can I help somebody get in better shape? Let me make a TikTok video. Let me go on TikTok Live. Let me do a podcast. Let me write a podcast. So whatever you're going to tell people, when you get the urge to go drink, go hit that workout. You get the urge to go watch a porn, go hit that workout. Or go help somebody out. Open up your scripture. But those are the three things that are going to build you up versus destroy you.
Yeah, what we're talking about is essentially replacing something in our lives with greater or equal value, right? And what we're going to find is that these things are going to have a lot more value, right? And it can be very difficult, man, to transition into that because we're so used to these things. It's just like, how the brain works. It can be very difficult to change these patterns. In a sense, do you ever see that with people?
Absolutely. And so, which is the question, it's like you said, it's hard. I'm like, I think people really need to understand they're hard. I'm like, you know what's hard? The fact there's someone on the other side of a country who doesn't know where the next meal is. Someone's family just died in a car accident. Someone just lost their mom. Someone just lost 5 of their dogs. So I'm like, what's hard, really? And so the definition, I tell people, stop defining things in your life. Again, everything is meaningless. It's hard. I'm like, this is making me better. A lot of people's self-talk is horrible. This is hard. I don't want to do this. So it's called cognitive dissonance. Meaning you want this goal, you want this positive outcome, but you're speaking so negative about what you have to do that you're not in alignment now. It's how are you going to produce a positive outcome when you're thinking so negative about the work that needs to get done? When people tell me Alex, I'm hungry. Does it look like you're hungry? Go look in the mirror. You're not hungry. You have so much body fat. You're not hungry. You are just not used to discomfort. Every time you got hungry, you ate. Every time you were bored, you ate. And look where it got you. Now you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 pounds overweight. You must get used to being uncomfortable. You must realize that I'm hungry? No. This is what fat loss feels like. This uncomfort feeling is pushing me to go do something. either go work out, either read scripture, or go help someone in that moment. You see how it comes back to it?
Yeah. You mentioned like nothing has meaning except the meaning we give it, right? It's like when these things happen, we have to decide what it means in our lives, right? Because you know, hard things can happen, but ultimately, it's our responsibility to decide how that means and how we make it fit in our lives. Right? Are we going to transform it into a gift, or we
Yeah.
just kind of sit in these negative thoughts and that's just how it is, right? It's a choice.
Yeah. And so negative thoughts are not avoidable. They happen. I call it the coiled serpent. They come all the time. Every day we're faced with this, right? We're faced with it. It's like I told you, it's like what happened to Eve. It's like, should I eat from the apple tree? Yeah, you can eat from it, but they say I can't do this. No, you're fine. And I call it the curse of comfort. It's when you tell yourself the next morning, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and go to the gym. And the next morning comes along, the alarm goes off. Just 10 more minutes. Just go in the afternoon. You just didn't get that much sleep. Just sleep a little bit longer. Or just one drink. Just one slice. This is the last time I'm gonna do this. I'll start next week. Getting closer to God is hard. This is just the curse of comfort. Before you know it, these small little comfort choices slowly start to become habits, and it's slowly to become your identity. It becomes who you are. And the biggest fear we have is not the fear of like dying physically, but it's about dying with our identity, our routine. It's like, okay, if you want to get rid of drinking, well, what am I going to do now? Or it's like, well, you have to go work out. It's like, well, I'm used to sleeping in. Like, I'm not going to sleep in. People are afraid of their routines dying. And that's what people fear the most. Like, now I have to do something completely different that I'm not used to. That's very uncomfortable. Who am I? I'm not that person no more. So that's what I've really noticed, that when people get under the curse of comfort, it seems harmless. I'll start tomorrow. It's not you saying that. It's the coiled serpent. You got to tell yourself, no, fuck that. I'm gonna go right now. Get up right now. Get up. Get up. Get up right now. Like, get up. And it all happens. It happens to you. Happens to me. We always have that little voice in our head, like, it's okay. You can just leave it like that. Oh, that's enough. No. You know it's not. You know it's not, because don't negotiate with it. No, get it done. Get it done. Sometimes you have to speak out loud and tell yourself, no, I'm not going to listen to you. I know what I should do, because we all know internally what we should do. You know you should have woken up earlier. You know you should have went to the gym. You know you should have ate that meal. You know you should have went to that drive-thru. You know you shouldn't have had that drink. But we fail to listen to that voice, and that is when we feed the coiled serpent as much.
I love it, man. It's like it's so important to have this level of self awareness, right? Because
Yes.
these little tiny habits, it's a lot of us are not aware that we're doing it. So unfortunately, it creates these negative loops in our life, as you mentioned, and we really want to be aware of that as soon as we can, so we can stop it in its tracks.
Yeah, it's massive self-awareness in the sense of like, pay attention. And I do that so every day I do TikTok live from like 9 a.m. to about 11 a.m. I do TikTok live. I get on there every single morning. I'm cooking my breakfast, and I have a whiteboard behind me, and I teach. I'm like, all right, guys, we're gonna learn about this, whether it's about macros, whether it's about training, whether it's about habits, whether it's a path of destruction. Today I taught something called, I call it the a motivational mountain. And it's like where motivation really happens. And I tell people, motivation is what you seek when it comes to the gym. Like, why do we seek motivation for the gym? And I tell them this, like, motivation is simply a feeling of wanting to do something difficult. That's what motivation is. Like, I don't have motivation to go to the gym. Meaning, I don't have motivation to go do something difficult that I know isn't gonna give me a return on my investment. Because I ask people, how many of you guys have gone to work when you're tired, hungover, not motivated, or you even hate your job? Everyone's like, me, yes, yes, yes. Why did you go? Bills, I have to pay, I get money, I have to pay my bills, I have to go, my money, I get money. Right, so you get a result. Because you know if you spend those 8 to 12 hours at work, you're gonna get a paycheck. Whether you work the full 12 hours or you work 3 hours, it doesn't matter. You're still gonna get paid. See, with the gym, because you have to drive to the gym. You might not like doing cardio. You might not like working out. You might like you get anxiety being around a bunch of people. It's very uncomfortable because you have to put so much in, and you're not guaranteed results. Your brain thinks, I'm not about to go spend time, my precious time that I have, gonna go do something simply not to get the result I want. It's like going to your job, tired, not motivated, hating it, hungover, and not getting paid. You wouldn't go? You wouldn't go back. You're like, fuck that, I'm quitting. You're not going to pay me? I'm out. It's the same thing with the gym. So people look for motivation for the gym because they simply know that they're not going to get the result they want. So if I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to work out and I'm going to go through all the pain and all the anxiety, then I might as well have to feel like it first in order for me to go. If not, then I'm not going to go because it's not worth it because I know I'm not going to get the results.
Very interesting. Yeah, it makes sense. It's like what what I think about sometimes is like we're talking about going through this pain and these challenges, right? Now, what I look at it is like these challenges are really here to forge our character in a sense to live the life that we're meant to lead. Like these are things that we can utilize to kind of build our internal fortitude, our internal character, and we can either go through it or grow through it, right? And once we choose that growth path, we lead a life of strength, which is gonna the foundation of leading the best life that we could possibly live.
No, I agree. And the truth is, when we explain it to someone like that, yeah, it makes sense. Then I'd like to take it a step further. I'm like, the reason you wake up and you look at yourself and you feel shame, the reason you can't get off the couch, the reason why you lack so much energy, the reason you wake up and you're like, oh, another day, the reason your kids aren't inspired by you, the reason you walk into a room and you're constantly thinking, what are people thinking about me? The reason you can't take your shirt off and go to the pool, the reason you walk around constantly pulling your shirt out of yourself, or the reason you sit there and you drink and you go to the is simply because you're avoiding doing the things that make you a better person. You're avoiding the difficult things. You're avoiding the discipline that gives you confidence, that raises your level of self-esteem, that raises your level of self-respect. So when I tell people, I'm like, all these problems you're having in your life, physically, financially, relationship-wise, those are not external problems. It's internal issues that you're having because you're avoiding doing the difficult things that build internal character. Like you're avoiding waking up early. You're avoiding actually going to get that workout in. You're avoiding actually eating better. So because you do all these things that make you feel guilty, shameful, and regretful who you are, you build more fear and you build more doubt in yourself. You have no confidence. You have no respect. You know every day you're dropping the ball. You said you were going to wake up early, you didn't. You said you're going to stop drinking, and you didn't. So when you think about, damn, how am I going to pay this bill? Your brain's thinking, how are you? You can't even wake up early and go to the gym. You can't even stop drinking. And so you stress and you stress and you stress because every single day you're letting yourself down. Every action you take either kills your confidence or builds your confidence. And confidence is simply a byproduct of consistent implementation of what you said you were going to do. If you wake up early every single day, if you hit that workout, if you get that meal in, if you do good and you treat others good the way you want to be treated, you feel good about yourself to take on anything that comes your way. But because you've been missing and lying to yourself and feeling guilty, the things on the external world seem so heavy because you internally have gotten weaker.
Absolutely, man. It's like these things they're really like understanding that it's a process, right? It's like how we build our character is like these small steps every single day, right?
Yes.
It's the choice. And you mentioned like the confidence is built by doing what we say we're going to do every single day,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's not about being perfect, but it's about progress, right? It's like understanding that as long as you have that north star in your mind, you just keep working towards that and just keep moving forward every single day, no matter what. It's like it's a process, and it's always going to be like that. It's like a growth process every day.
Right. And then I tell people you have to put more emotion behind what you're trying to achieve. Whenever I start the lesson on like teaching people about macronutrients, I'm like, look, why are we here? You want to lose 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds? Okay, cool. That's not that exciting. It's really not. They're just goals. I don't want to lose 30 pounds. Like, okay, let's take it deep further. Okay, you want a six pack. You want a better chest. You don't want man boobs no more. You don't want love handles. You want better arms. You want to go from an XXL to a large. Okay, now we're getting better. Now let's take it a step further. What does your life look like after you achieve this? What would you do once you have that six pack? What would you do once you drop those 50, 60 pounds and you're going down to a large? What are you doing right now? What are you doing that you're not doing today? Tomorrow you woke up like that. You woke up. What do you? And I get people, oh, I would make content. I would go buy new clothes. I would go ask that girl on a date. I would go to the pool. I would go play with my kids. I would wear a different dress. I would go in and leave my job. I'd go make some more money. I'm like, okay, that is your vision. That is your, like you said, North Star. But most people don't take the time to create that. So when I get on here, I'm like, guys, where are you going? What excites you? Life is not exciting because you haven't put excitement in your life. And like the way you put excitement in your life is by first understanding one simple thing: attitude of gratitude. I'm like, you have so much. Most of you guys have 99 great things in your life, and you're focused on the one thing that's not going right. When there's somebody across the country, across the world, who would sign on a dotted line just to switch your lives. I mean, you get to wake up every day and actually go place where you get paid. You have clean water. You have food in the fridge. You have a roof in your head. Like you have 3 pairs of shoes. You have 3 pairs of shoes? No way. But you don't. They fail to realize that. I'm like, if you just had so much gratitude, and gratitude is not just an I'm grateful for this. Gratitude is actually physics. If all day long you're saying thank you so much, thank you, I'm so grateful for something. What you're saying is like when you say thank you, it means you're receiving. So when you're saying thank you, you're acting out of receiving. Thank you for everything you're giving me. I have so much. Versus when you're thinking of lack around, I don't have this, I don't have the money, I don't like the way I look, I don't really have the partner. You're saying is like, I don't have this, I don't have this. So now you're acting out of scarcity. And so you're giving things away because you're not acting out of gratitude. So it goes vice versa. You want more things to come away? Be thankful. It's physics. You're ultimately saying that I'm getting so much. You say when someone gives you something, thank you. Someone gives it, thank you. Man, I'm getting so much. And because of that, you receive more.
100%, man. Gratitude is key. It's like, as you mentioned, like what you appreciate appreciates in a sense. It's like having this abundance mindset versus scarcity and being altruistic every day, like wanting people to win, like wanting people to reach their goals. It's like having this energy about you. And what you have to understand is that this energy is coming from you, right? So whether you're exuding it from a place of scarcity or lack, or you choose to be on the abundant side, it's ultimately up to you. And if we're holding this energy within ourselves of like, you know, jealousy or whatever it is, it's coming from us, and we're creating from that place unknowingly.
No, absolutely, man. I like what you said that. What you appreciate appreciates. Man, that is a bar. Wow. Wow. That where'd you get that one from? That's beautiful, man. Because you're right. You're putting more power into your life. And I just tell people, you know, when sometimes some people come to my TikTok lives, they go, I'm down bad, Alex. I'm down bad right now. I'm like, get down and do 25 burpees. Or get down and do 10 push-ups. Get down and do that. And I've had people on there, I'm like, you get down. Oh, wait. Get down and do 10. They'll do 10. Tell me when we're done. They're done. It's like, all right, do another 10. Then do another 10. How do you feel? I feel better. There you go. You
Yeah.
just did something that created positivity. You can't think your way into positivity at times. What you're feeling in that state is you're just feeling low state. Tony Robbins calls it low like state management. There's also like the frequency. It's like you're just feeling down. Whenever you're feeling that low state of frequency, guilt, shame, doubt, fear, desire, anger, jealousy. Like when you're feeling, even desire is a low state of fear. There's 2 types of desires. There's the regular desire, and then there's the burning desire. Desire is unmet expectations. When your reality does not match what you think it should be, those are unmet expectations which come with a lot of pain. I don't have the body. Why haven't I lost weight? Why don't I have the money? Why don't I have the relationship? Oh man, like I feel like God is so much further away from me. Where there's that burning desire is like, oh, I'm so grateful. Like I'm looking for, like I'm losing weight. I'm getting better. I'm working out. Or like I'm working on this business. Like I'm excited that I get to work on this business. Or I'm getting my money up. I'm so glad I'm becoming the man for this partner. Like I know she's out there, and every single day I'm working towards being a better man. I'm so glad I'm getting closer to God. So it's burning. There's a desire which is unmet expectations, and then there's a burning desire which is like I'm so excited that I'm getting closer to this. Like you said, progress. That is when you're feeling low. Don't judge your life by the way you feel in that moment. Do something positive. And I tell people I get like 2 workouts in a day. I get one in the morning, in the afternoon. I get a little push-up, maybe some pull-ups, push-ups. Or if I'm really feeling low too, I'll get on TikTok Live and I'll talk to people. What are you dealing with? What are you dealing with? All right, do this. I forget about me. When we sit here and think, I don't have this, I don't have that, why aren't things going my way? It should be, like you said, victim. When you start to think so much about yourself, When you start to lack gratitude, that's when all the pain ensues because you're just bringing yourself down and all you're looking at is desire, unmet expectations. But when you do the work, right? I want to be a better body. Go work out. I want to make more money. Go learn a new skill. I want to have a better relationship with someone. Learn how to communicate. I want to get closer to God. Read scripture. When you do the work, you forget about what you don't have. And because you do the work and you forget about what you don't have and you're so involved in the work, you get the result.
Wow, yeah. Makes sense, man. Absolutely. It's like almost like you mentioned from a scientific perspective. It's like this quantum physics in a sense. It's like this energy that you're bringing out is what you're going to bring to you in one way or another, right? And it's kind of like the concept of energetic investment. Like where are you investing your energy in a sense? And like what is your return on energy? Like what are you doing which is going to bring about certain results in your life? Just start to think about these things.
Yeah, it's laws. It's law. It's the law of compensation, right? The law of cause and effect. The law of the abundance. The law of numbers. Like if you're constantly operating at a high state of frequency, Bob Proctor talked about this. Jim Rohn talked about this. Like when you're operating in state like Nikola Tesla, it's like people believe in Wi-Fi. It's like what's the Wi-Fi? And all of a sudden you have internet. You're like, all right, thank you. But it's like you don't believe in energy and energy transfer and where your energy is and what you bring into your life is how you. I tell people you don't attract what you want in life. You attract who you are. So if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or it didn't work out with them because they were narcissistic, they were egocentric, I'm like that's who you are. You don't attract what you want. You attract who you are. And so whenever throughout the day, every single day, I'm in charge of my energy. All day long. All day long, I'm in charge of my energy. How am I feeling? How am I thinking? Am I thinking positive or am I thinking negative? All day long, minute by minute, hour by hour. Because whatever I'm thinking of is what's coming into my life. Positive or negative. The law of attraction is always working. The law of attraction gives us not what we want, but what we are in that moment. You're feeling low, you're thinking negative, great, that's what you're bringing into your life. You ever have people like, oh, it's one thing after another, this happened and this happened. Yeah, because you stayed down there. You stay down there. You have to be responsible. How am I thinking? I'm thinking really negative right now. I feel kind of down now. Well, then immediately you must understand, well, guess what's coming my way? It might not be here right now, but it's on its way. It's on its way. My thoughts are attracting everything in my life. Your exterior is just a mirror of your interior. That's it. Everything you have in your life is simply because you thought about it. And if you want the things to change outside, you must first change on what's on the inside by raising your low frequency, thinking more positive, and acting more positive. I tell people it might sound woo-woo, but look at it this way. What are your options? Think negative or think positive. Act negative or act positive. But it's hard, Alex. Shut up. Like then go live a horrible life. Then just think about yourself. Like that's it. You only think about yourself. What about your kids, your husband, your wife, like your mother, all these people? Stop thinking so much about yourself. But it's hard. I don't care. I don't care. It's gonna be hard one way or another. You're either gonna live in a negative state or you're gonna live in a positive state. Get down and do those 10 push-ups. Now. Go. And they do it. And they do it. And like, good. You see what I'm saying? That makes sense. And then that's how I get them to fucking do it. And again, it's the law of compensation. I do it on my TikTok live. I do it on my YouTube live. And I know all that energy that I put out there, all the positive energy, whatever you give, you must receive. Whatever you put out there. That's why I tell people, when you make those negative comments, you put those negative comments, be careful. Because whatever you give has to come back.
Powerful, man. Something you talk a lot about is discipline as well. Like I like to look at it as like being a disciple of your mission, or like taking these daily actions every day that keep you in alignment with what is real, your purpose, and your mission, right? And it's not always easy, right? So, what does discipline mean to you, and what exactly can we do to start to develop this in our lives?
Discipline to me, which is interesting, recently I've said it's like discipline is being able to look into the future. Because it's like, all right, I know if I drink this, I know I'm going to regret it. I know if I eat this, I'm going to regret this. I know if I go and watch this porn video, I know I'm not going to feel like shit afterwards. I know if I send this message, I know I'm going to feel like shit. Versus like, all right, I know if I wake up right now, I'm gonna be so proud of myself if I wake up now. I know if I go work right now, I feel so much better. I know if I just go wait up a little bit and I go make that meal, I'm gonna feel that much better. This discipline is the ability to be like, what am I gonna do right now that I know is going to get in the long run going to make me a lot better. I don't want to do it, but who do I want to be? Like, I don't think people think enough about who they want to be. And to me, I always think about who do I want to be, the man that can be an inspiration to people. And a lot of people don't have discipline because growing up we were disciplined by our parents, by our teachers, if you played sports, by our coaches. And even at work, you're semi-disciplined by your boss. And so people don't have somebody to discipline. I paid, from the age of 19 to the age of 29, I spent like 60 grand on coaches, whether it was bodybuilding coaches, weightlifting coaches, psychologists, mindset coaches, business coaches. I took out credit cards. I paid some of my own money because I'm like, I know if I have a level of accountability, I'm going to get the work done that I don't want to do. That's what mentors and coaches do. They push you in the right direction even when you don't want to go. And so that's what it means. What's the second part of the question?
Yeah, I was just asking basically what we can do to start to develop this discipline within our lives.
I always say the first place to develop discipline is your wake-up time. Because waking up is the hardest thing for everyone in the world. It's the hardest thing for everyone in the world. Why? Because you're going from such a comfortable slumber, such a comfortable bed, to an alarm that just immediately wakes you up. And so that alarm wakes you up, and in that moment, you get to choose what you're going to do. And so simply by just moving, if you wake up at 7, wake up at 6. You wake up at 6, wake up at 5. Wake up at 5, wake up at 4. Wake up at 4, wake up at 3. I wake up at 3. I started waking up at 3 back in 2023. And I wake up at 3 every day unless my alarm, Apple fucking fucks it up and just decides not to go off. It's happening. I have 3 phones. I have one phone here, one phone there, one phone over there. I have 3 phones. Because I'm like, okay, like, right, there's another phone right here, one phone here, and I got another phone over here. And it's like when I put my alarms, I put up all of them, 2:59, 3 o'clock, 2:59. I'm like, no, I'm not missing. Because that has been one of the cornerstones to like a level of gratitude, a level of discipline, and a level of leadership for me. Because everyone's like, and I always post, every time I wake up, the first thing I do is I serve the world. I take a picture of the dark. The night before, I already have a quote picked out. I have a positive quote picked out. So by the time I wake up, I take a picture of the dark, and I post it like this. Right? I posted this like this morning was like anything worth having is worth paying for. Everything you're doing externally is constructing you internally. 3 o'clock in the morning, I post it every single morning. So I show people, look, I'm up. And I'm serving the world by giving them a positive message. So the first thing I do when I wake up is I serve the world. And that is an act of abundance. Like the first thing I'm going to wake up is I'm not going to serve myself. I'm going to give you guys something. And now I just started going live on Kick. So around like 3:15 in the morning, I go live now. And I went live today for almost 5 hours, from 3:15 in the morning to about 7:45 in the morning. Because I want to show people what discipline is and how great it is. I think discipline is great. People don't know what discipline is. Let me show you how great it is. How do you wake up at 3? Why are you smiling? I'm like, because I woke up. What do you mean? Like, yeah, I'm fucking tired. Whatever. I'm gonna brush my teeth. Let's go get some coffee. Let's go sit down. Let's journal. Let's read. And I conversate with them. Some people are still up. Some people are up. They're in California. They're in Arizona. It's like 2 o'clock over there. I'm like, go to bed. What are you doing up? It's like, what are you up? I'm like, I just woke up. And so they see me. I'm like, okay, let's go walk. So I get to show them. That's what my brand is all about. Let me show you how great discipline is. Let me show you what it gives you. When people are like, bro, how do you have so much energy? How's your skin so clear? How are you so positive? I'm like, because I've been up since 3. It's 9 o'clock. I had like 8 wins. I made a podcast. I worked out. I prayed. I journaled. I ate a meal. Now I'm talking to you guys. How can I not feel good about myself? Most of you guys wake up just for money. You wake up because someone's paying you to wake up. So you go to work. You haven't done anything. It's 9 o'clock. All you did was wake up. So it's like you're not putting pride behind who you are as an individual. You want to be excited about your life? Wake up early. That's the first step. Just wake up early. Wake up early, grab some coffee, spend some time with God. If you truly believe God and love God, go spend some time with Him. He waits for you. He wakes you up every morning, and He waits for you. He's like, come take a seat with me. And you're like, I got to go to work. I'm like, you can't even spend 15 minutes with Him. But if I told you, wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, sit down for 15 minutes, and in 30 days, I'll give you $1 million. You won't miss a fucking day. You will not miss a day. Oh, I'll sit there for 30 days, $1 million. Right. And I tell people, I'm like, you don't really love God. You don't like to hear that. I'm like, you don't really love God. Because if I give you $1,000,000 for 30 days, you'll wake up at 4. You'll wake up at 3:59. You'll wake up at 3:50. You'll be there. And realize, like, that's where people are at. I'm like, once you understand that God gives you more than you can ever imagine, which is clarity and wisdom to make better decisions in your life, that's when you start to really enjoy your life. Because it's about
Yeah,
giving.
man. Starting to cultivate these standards of excellence within our lives. Very
Mm-hmm.
important.
That's it, man. That's what it should be.
Yeah, like another thing like I think about when it comes to discipline is like when we're in that uh, uh, state of pain, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have choice in what to do, and because we're in that feeling state, right? Now, after we make a decision, we're going to be left with another feeling. Are we going, and what is it going to be? Is it going to be a sense that you're proud of yourself because you did the
Mm-hmm.
right thing, or is it going to be regret?
Right.
And it's like doing the best that we can and going forward from there because feelings are temporary. And if we start to live by standards and principles, that we're going to understand that it's there's always another level to get to, and it's just respect the process. Like just trust yourself and trust life.
Absolutely. And I think people just don't know what the price is that they're paying for. People won't do things until they know what they're actually getting in return. What I mean by that is like when they say it's hard, I'm like, waking up at 3 o'clock is only hard if you don't know what you're paying for. Meaning, if I told you wake up at 3 o'clock and your mom dies in the next 30 days, motherfucker, I'm gonna wake up. Damn, the stakes are high. That's not a price I'm willing to pay. No, 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 no. I will save my mom. So I'm like, you just haven't sat down and looked at everything that you can actually accomplish in life and decided what it is that would be it would be insane if I accomplished this. It would be insane if I got that six pack. My God, I would buy new clothes. I would never wear a shirt. I saw a comment the other day. I'm like, if I had his body, I would donate all my shirts to Goodwill. And it's like having these goals and this vision that when you think about it, it's like the night before going to Disney when you were a kid. I'm like, oh my God, I can't even sleep. Oh my God, we're going to Disney tomorrow. I got my clothes out. I'm ready to go. People have lost that. People get stuck in the mundane day-to-day things that they have to do. And so they have no excitement in their life. And that happens after like 25, 26, 27, 20. Once you hit it, I'm 31, and I see it in people. People give up because they just have no more aspirations for bigger things because they failed. And I'm like, you need adversity. You need adversity. Things didn't go right. Perfect. Right? You still have to learn. Great. Right? It was like a month and a half ago. Like, I've never been in a car accident. I happened to pull in my truck. I'm always fucking driving my truck. I pull into the parking lot, and I hit this car. I hit a parked car. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. What do you mean I just hit this parked car? I go out, there's a dent in it. I'm like, bro, that's gonna cost me a penny, man. Man, that's gonna cost me pretty. And then in that moment, I'm angry. I'm frustrated. All I want to do is beat my car seat. And I sit there and I tell myself, it all happens for me. It all happens for me. It all happens for me. And I'm questioning, I'm like, why? Why? But why? I'm like, the more you question, you're not gonna get answers. It's like, it happens for me. It happens for me. Immediately, I went and I looked for the guy. I knocked on some doors. I'm like, whose car is this? Whose car is this? I'm like, fuck, now I have to tell this guy. I'm like, it never crossed my mind not to say anything because there's nobody around. It never crossed my mind. But I knew in that moment I gotta go knock on doors and I have to find out whose fucking car this is, and I gotta tell them that I just hit their car. So I find the guy, I'm like, bro, hit your car. It's like, oh man. I'm like, yeah, bro. He's like, bro, thank you for telling me. I'm like, yeah, bro, just tell me how much it is, find out, and I'll fucking pay for it. Whatever. I don't know why I hit the car. I don't know. I parked my truck all the fucking time. But then, I took that moment of like, why did this happen to me? It cost me like $700. It was going to cost me $3,000. But I'm like, whatever, $700. Like, but I don't know why. But I just tell myself, I don't care. It was a test of my integrity. What was I going to do? What was I going to do? I'm going to find this guy and I'm going to tell him, I don't care how much it is. I'm going to pay for it. Right? I live in abundance. I'll make more money. I don't care. But it's a test of my integrity in there. How do I act scared? Do I act worried? How much faith do I have that things actually happened for me? And that's the shift in mentality I tell anyone going through whatever you're going through in life mentally, whatever, it's a breakup, financial, physical, it's happening for you. It's happening for you. Now I have power. Now what can I do next? If it's my health, do I get a trainer? Do I go to YouTube? Do I do push-ups right now? If it's my relationship, I got to keep moving forward. Relationships are hard, man. Going through a breakup, it's a lingering feeling. I don't care how old you are. It's a lingering feeling. The memories, the thoughts. What are they doing? What am I going to do now? All these negative. Well, what can I do? I got to keep moving forward. What's next? Let me go get that workout in. Let me just, let me just stay. I tell people, if you stayed sober today, and you got to the end and you were sober, that's a fucking win. You got a workout in, that's an even bigger win. Like just being sober is a win. I tell people, don't undervalue being sober. That's a win. You're not going backwards. Sometimes it's not always about taking a giant step forward. It's simply just not going backwards that day.
Yeah, man. It kind of sounds like living in the flow and trusting the process is a big part of it too.
This too shall pass. Yeah, this too shall pass. There's a big saying like everything's great. This too shall pass. Everything's shit. This too shall pass.
Yeah, man. All right, Alex, this has been awesome. I really appreciate you, man, for coming on the show and sharing your story, your passion, your insights with us. And it's really important to take on these concepts of discipline and integrity and all these types of things because the character is really the foundation of how we live our lives, right? And being of service, being on purpose, it's like if you why are you here? Like, what do you want to be fulfilled or not, right? And like learning these things in our lives, and there can be a light and a model for others, man. So again, I appreciate you for coming on the show. It's been really awesome.
No, thank you for having me, brother. I think what you're doing is phenomenal and spreading a good positive message for people to really listen and make the change in their life that they're looking for. They don't have to wait for change; they have to be the change.
Hey, that's what it's all about. So if we want to get connected with you and all your work, where can we find you?
Just the Alex Duenas on all different platforms, whether it's thealexduenas.com or the Alex Duenas on my TikTok, my Instagram, or even on Spotify for my podcast.
All right. Thanks, man.
Awesome, brother.